It has been a few months since I have updated. There's a couple of reasons for that. I've been really busy like a lot of people get. And also, the last video that I filmed, I went to edit and realized that I somehow didn't record a single bit of audio. So that was really fun to find out. This is a re-record of that video. So I guess I'll just think of the first time as practice, and let's get into it. Today's video was originally meant to come out on Valentine's Day, but I am still okay with posting it because you know what? As I'm filming this, it's still February, there's still snow on the ground, strawberries are on sale, like let's get this love in the air. Today we're gonna be talking about book recommendations based on the 7 different Greek words for love. Now, what's really cool about the fact that they have so many different words for love is that each one is sort of laser focused into a type of relationship or feeling that it could technically define. So the first one, for example, that I'm going to be giving a recommendation for is philia. Philia, in particular, is a type of love that is described as a wholly authentic, intimate friendship. It is literally just ride or die, like this is my person. For that, I have decided to recommend Dragon and Thief by Timothy Zahn. It has my favorite friendship of everything I've ever read. Our main character, Jack, he is sort of on the run from the law with his uncle when a spaceship crashes near where they're hiding out. So he decides to go poke around the wreckage and see what he can find, you know, hashtag reduce, reuse, recycle, whatever. When he finds what he believes is a dead body. It's clearly an alien. It's shaped like a dragon, and all of a sudden, this dead alien jumps at him and it disappears. Dracos, our second main character, the dragon-shaped alien in question, he is a member of a symbiotic species called the Kada, and they need to recharge their essence, I guess you could say, by becoming a part of their symbiotic partner. Now what this means is he can actually transform into something that looks a lot like a tattoo. They decide to be allies, and from that blooms just this absolutely incredible friendship. When I was a kid, this book filled a super special place in my heart because who did not want to be best friends with a dragon? If you just want a friendship that is going to blow every other book out of the water in terms of friendship goals, Dragon and Thief by Timothy Zahn. Next, storge is a type of love that is described as a familial love. Could be like a parent to a child, could be siblings. Probably my favorite trope of all time is found family. Someone's gonna guess what I'm gonna recommend for this because I've been on a kick about this book ever since finishing it. The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. The reason I'm recommending it for philia is because the way that this book tackles the concept of found family, of, you know, needing to have an open mind, and once you do that, realizing that people you never thought you'd interact with in the first place become something so special and just irreplaceable in your life. It was done so well in this book. A lot of the themes in this book are, you know, accepting people for who they are, not who you expect them to be, not who you hope they be, just who they are. And that was sort of the beginning of my era of realizing that to me, love, familial love especially, but any type of love, isn't necessarily, you know, an unparalleled devotion. It's not the desire to move earth and sky for your beloved. Like, it's nothing as complex as that. Love is just understanding someone and knowing that they understand you. And this book is what helped me realize that. It was so important to me, and I think it's the perfect recommendation for storge. So if you want to read something about found family and a familial love that will just break your heart and then sew it back together 3 times bigger than it was, The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune is the one I recommend. Next, philautia. This type of love might be the most important to me. It is described as a self-love. It's something that I have definitely struggled a lot with in the past and do still sometimes today. The book I'm going to recommend for philautia is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. The main character of this book, Kaya, she goes through so much. From the very beginning, I knew that I was going to love this little girl, and then watching her grow into a teenager and then into adult was such an intimate process. There were so many pieces of her that I related to, and there were even more pieces of her that inspired me. She deals with everything from racism to classism to misogyny, and she just trucks through it all. She knows who she is. I think even at her most confused and not knowing what she wanted to do with her life or what she felt she had the capability of doing, you know, as she grew and became more capable, the core of it was always survival. And the survival began to turn into something else. She truly valued herself. She's a fighter. Like, through and through, this book is about a fighter. If you are looking for a book that will take you on an emotional journey, as well as just having an incredible plot and cast of characters, please pick up my recommendation for Philautia and Self-Love, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Okay. The next book, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is going to be my recommendation for Pragma, which is a committed companionate love. To be honest, I think that this book exemplifies so many different loves. It's hard to nail it down to just one. But the reason I chose Pragma is because this book, at the end of the day, is about legends. The men in this book, their love is the stuff of legends. Their story has been told for thousands of years, just because I have it nearby. The Iliad is the OG. You know, these characters are from Homer's mind. You know, I believe he was telling his poetry around 700 AD. Don't quote me on that one. I just think the fact that the love story in this book originated thousands of years ago and it is resonating the way that it is today with modern audiences is just mind-blowing. The way that this story was told sat in my heart for weeks afterwards, and honestly it's still sitting there. I finished it at the beginning of February, and it's now real close to March, and I still think about these characters probably every day. And if you want a book that was life-changing for me, pick up The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Next on my list, we have Agape. This is described as a universal love, something very empathetic, something all-encompassing, and the book that I've chosen to recommend for Agape is actually The Giver by Lois Lowry. The reason I've chosen to recommend this one is not necessarily because of a particular character or a particular plot line, but it's more thematic. This book is about a dystopian society that is masquerading as a utopian society. There's a reason that I find humanity so beautiful inherently, and this book is a narrative that I was able to just sit in and enjoy that feeling and really feel like Lois Lowry understood something that I'd never really spoken out loud before I read this book. So for Agape, I am recommending The Giver by Lois Lowry. Next, Ludus is a playful and flirtatious love. I'm going to be recommending Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is a very popular one and has been for hundreds of years, and I am still surprised when so many people that I tell that this is one of my absolute favorite classics of all time say that they've never read it. But one of my very, very favorite things about this book is Lizzie is such a knockout main character. I love her so much. You can flip this book open to any page and 90% chance Lizzie is being savage. Like, I love her so much. She hits right down to the core of matters, and when she is upset, like oh my gosh, if you get on her bad side, she will roast you so bad. I mean, it is eviscerating. I love her so much. I want to be best friends with her. I'm probably a little bit in love with her, and that has nothing to do with Keira Knightley, like, at all. At all. But no, the relationship between her and Mr. Darcy is so incredibly fun to watch develop, because this is like the OG enemies to lovers. Unparalleled in other books that I've read. Like, you want banter, you want playful, you want flirtatious, you want Ludus? Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So for my last recommendation, I actually do not own a copy of this book yet. I was able to borrow it from a very kind coworker, and I absolutely loved it. For my recommendation for Eros, which is of course it's a very intimate, romantic, passionate, spicy love, I am going to be recommending Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And the reason I'm recommending it for Eros specifically is because it does definitely have a lot of NSFW scenes, but more to the point, it actually begins as a physical love. One of our main characters, Tate, she has a career plan. She's got goals. She knows what she wants and she doesn't plan on getting distracted. Our other main character, Miles, has a lot of secrecy in his past, mostly due to trauma, some stuff that he really needs to work through, but that's, that kind of leads us into spoiler territory, so I won't go any further. But what you need to know is that he does not ever see himself falling in love again. He has absolutely no desire for a relationship, but when these two meet and the sparks are just undeniable, they decide on a relationship that's gonna work for them, which is essentially friends with benefits. Watching them slowly but surely fall in love with each other against their own wills, against everything they know might be smart for their specific situation. It was such a hook. Like I couldn't put it down. So for Eros, to close out this video, I am recommending Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. So that's it. Like, thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad to have another video out for you guys. I really feel like I've left it too long since I've posted one. I've noticed that my niche is kind of becoming books based on blank. So if you have any ideas about a category or, different things you'd like to see books based on, leave a comment down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want notifications every time I post a video for you. And with that, I will see you in the next video.